Hello, welcome to another episode of The Holy Hour. This is Gavin, and I'm joined by a very special guest this evening. I'm hanging out with my old buddy, Ryan. We go way back. How long now? Since...
Almost 20 years.
Yeah, I guess 97, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a long time, many adventures, Dr. Jones. We've been on many adventures, musical and otherwise, and yeah, just a true pal in every sense. And as far as someone to talk music, probably not the most self-declared Cure diehard fan, but you've come around in recent years and enjoyed the brilliance of the Cure, would you say?
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for partaking in this experiment of discussions. And
I love Robert.
Yeah, he's a lovable man.
He's gooey and he's tasty and he has great hooks and arrangements.
Yeah.
What's not to love?
Exactly. And appearance-wise, there's a lot to do with it, with his gooiness. And people give him a hard time in these later years for kind of becoming more of like a melted version of Robert Smith, but I think he looks great. His hair is held up. He can't be like
jealous of the hair.
Yeah, God, I mean, he can't be treating it well all these years, all that product and such, you know, but it's still there in some form or another. It looks a little rough by the end of the shows, but God bless him. And just seems like an all-around swell man, don't you think?
Tim Burton would be nothing without
exactly
Robert Smith.
Side note of something we referred to earlier, I don't know why this just popped in my head, but we were kind of making fun of Sean Penn. Have you heard about that movie where he kind of looks like Robert Smith? It's on like Netflix now, I think, but it like totally was indie theater and nobody made any reference to it, but he's supposed to be like some kind of lonely dude or something, and there's some weird twist when I read the synopsis of like how he kills his stepmother or something, but he's basically dressed exactly like Robert Smith. And like, and it's like...
What does he wear?
He's just like black, and he has like eyeliner, and his hair's all sticking up. But I mean, they made him look exactly like he's trying to look like Robert Smith, and it's so weird, because it's like Sean Penn just looks kind of weird and old now anyway, and going for that Robert Smith, like, why would you choose him, and why would he do that? And
when it's all said and done, body of work-wise... Sean Penn's a great actor, but
he's no Robert Smith.
He's no Robert Smith.
It's true. Yeah, going back to how we met in 97 was a long time back, but wasn't really that long, but for how different the media formats have changed over the years. And we met basically swapping tapes and initially contacting each other for bootlegs and trading bootlegs. And then I guess we kind of ran out of source material, or maybe from the get-go, just of correspondence. We mentioned we'd both write our own songs, and we sent, like, I think you sent just like a few songs tacked on to the end of a mix, and I did the same. And does that sound about accurate?
Yeah, we were all shy about it at first. I remember that I played a few songs at the end of an early mix. Like, I just played part of Blackbird, the Beatles, and a few things. And then you answered back with some full-on, like, arranged songs on a 4-track. You did like outdoor type with acoustic guitar, vocals, and the bass line, like, doom, doom, doom. And I was like, shit, he's throwing the gauntlet down. And then from then on, it was more trying to actually make a recording, make something great, and not just be like, hey, I can play. Here's a little clip.
I was so desperate for an audience. I was like, I got him. Here you go.
I was too.
That's awesome. But,
and we still are.
Yeah, we're still here. We are.
It's a good thing to be desperate for an audience. It takes fucking courage.
Anyone can just do shit and put it in a shoebox under your bed, right? But you were in high school still then? Maybe your senior year, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we met. It was because it was right before Car Button Cloth came out. It was we were like met as Lemonheads fans, and then that album came out like after we were friends. We were there for the hype of that album. Yeah. It had been a while, so 96, 97, almost 20 years ago.
I was like
senior in high school.
2
You were
years
like,
out of high school.
You're like 20. You could almost buy a beer.
Yeah, it's like, man, wait till you get out in the real world.
And then by the time we met, you were like, I'm 21. I could buy a beer.
And I've never been in the real world. Yeah. That's more.
It's a good place to avoid.
Yeah.
The real world is.
Yeah, I'm still avoiding it.
Still haven't been on the real
I
world.
don't know what it's
all
like.
the happier for it.
Seems scary out there. Way too much to worry about out there. But we started trading tapes, which is a very lost art form, I wonder. Which is kind of cool, thinking like this was also for people not wise enough to piece the timeline of internet history and stuff. Like everything was super new then, like as far as tracking people down and mailing stuff. I mean, we kind of were cool in the sense, in my idea of like using it to a positive advantage of not just like, you know, after the first wave of internet porn and forums and like, you know, I mean, the fact that connections are made and friendships clearly from 20 year plus at this
long
point.
Before MySpace.
Yeah, we didn't need any of that bullshit. I was like, you like the Lemonheads? Cool, here, I'll send you some stuff and vice versa. Next thing you know, we're sending our own music and other mixes of stuff. I was like, well, clearly this guy's got good taste, and we kept it rolling from bands outside of just what we were directly connected to in that time frame. Was kind of a very anti-Cure peak, I guess. Maybe like it was like a little after Wild Mood Swings had come out, and that one was kind of bashed by a lot of diehard Cure fans and stuff.
Jupiter Crashing.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, there's some gems on there. I always feel like that's kind of the
Mint Car.
Yeah, it's a good one, but like a lot of people are down on that album.
And that's the only two songs I can actually name. But they're
you would know if you heard them.
They're so fucking good.
Yeah, Mint Car is like a really underrated.
Friday I'm in Love too.
It should have been as big of a hit. Yeah,
I feel like he must have been just like people were just telling him how shitty and depressing his music was. He's like, "Fuck you! I'll show you."
I'll show you a happy song.
And he did it the first time with Friday I'm in Love, and then with Mint Car. It's like it's almost like making fun of happiness because it's too like I'm so happy I could burst. Strawberry Kisses.
Yeah,
it's like. But it's so good. He's like the saddest fucking mushy guy, but he can make the most beautiful happy song ever too, which is weird.
Yeah.
He's the last guy you'd expect that from.
Exactly.
Like, fuck you guys, I'll write the ultimate happy pop song, and then he does.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, that was
you would never expect. Yeah, that or Friday in Love, or they've always been weird. I mean, even going back to like Love Cats in the '80s and stuff, he was always kind of that scary twist of a musician where you're like, what? Just when you think you've got them pegged down in some format, it's like, I mean, I wasn't around for when that got released or anything, but, from reading articles and stuff, like all the British magazines and stuff were just like, what the hell? This is the guy that was like...
Who is this guy?
Yeah, and all of a sudden he comes out with like The Walk or something, it's like pretty cool. It's always good that they're diverse, but yeah, going
Morrissey just stays depressed. And it's a little bit better.
Yeah, sometimes I rock when I'm depressed. Sometimes I don't rock. But yeah, it's but yeah, Wild Mood Swings, late 90s, second half of the 90s. It was very like, I guess Britpop was big, and kind of those, even like Morrissey and the Cure everybody was kind of taking a hit at that point. I think they weren't really at their peak anymore as far as commercial success and stuff. They still had huge followings, of course, but so yeah, like when we traded the tapes, being a huge Cure fan, of course, like, and I'm always trying to get people to like the Cure. I always know that like people don't like them really on the first listen and stuff, so I was trying to remember back if I hit you up like right off the bat, like with those first few tapes. I'd kind of say probably not. Like, I didn't really throw a ton of Cure at you, did I?
I think I still have the like clear cassette where you just labeled Cure Mix. It was a double-sided clear cassette.
So it was a full
mix.
Cure.
I think the way I remember it, and who knows at this point.
Yeah, maybe it was like the fifth tape or something.
But you just mentioned the Cure a lot, and my older sister April was really into the Cure.
All right, I forgot about
and
that.
she had all the posters up in her room, and had the one live album from the '80s. It's super moody and
was it? Yeah.
And so, but she never played the Cure for me. She was like out, being a wild high school girl. So I just saw the band, and I assumed it would be this thing. It seemed kind of like something I didn't want to get into. Yeah. But you mentioned them. We were into the Lemonheads and all this catchy stuff, and your songs are really good. and you kept mentioning the Cure in the emails, and I remember asking you, like, make me a Cure mix.
Okay.
Always do that. You did it for replacements. You've done it a bunch of times. Like, all right, you keep mentioning this band, make me a mix of your best songs. And he made me the Cure mix, and you put Friday I'm in Love, and just the hook songs right at the beginning. So I was like, oh shit, this is amazing.
Didn't lead off with like the 10-minute version of
you had the sense that was the first song on side B was all those songs. Good. So in order to rewind it back, I could either rewind it all the way or listen to all the those moody songs.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally forgotten about your sister being into them. I remember you saying that because I wasn't sure if you had heard of them prior to any of that, or even just like the name and stuff.
I'd heard of them, but I never heard them.
Had you like even like just Boys Don't Cry and been like, oh, that's
no, I hadn't. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever heard anything before that mixtape. Yeah, Boys Don't Cry is such a great one too. It's sort of weird too to when you come along to a band so long in. It's like they've been a band for 20 years or I don't know, 15 years or however long it was, and
by that point
you're like, Boys Don't Cry, that doesn't even sound, it's a great song, but that sounds like a different band. And it was, because 10 years
technically, for sure. It's like crazy how much, that's a tough one for them, because like you don't really know what angle people would latch onto, you know, and just picking which ones is tough, but they have so many like just big singles like that. And so we were thinking too, like people do tend to lean, but nobody got there from the start. Like everybody always heard like, the singles, and you get into the singles, and then if you really like them, then you get into the heavier stuff, and at some point you might turn or something. But I think it's bullshit posturing, to be honest.
Anytime you say you hate shit that you used to like, you're an asshole to yourself. And
like a week from now, you'll change your mind. But and kind of even going back to what we were saying initially, we were trying to figure out all these buttons and playing In Between Days, and just what a catchy, amazing song that is, and just like how a song like that can just never get old. And I feel like it's one of those ones you can play to anybody, and you might not love it, but at the same time, it's pretty undeniable. It's like it's just such a catchy, quick,
I can't believe that you could not love it. How could anyone deny that song?
It's so weird, and you still get chills when you hear it on the radio and stuff. I feel like it's like a song in 1985 when that came out. It's like, can you think of like anything else in 1985 that just like doesn't sound? I mean, it's timeless.
And it's still not really known. It's not been featured in a major motion picture that the kids see. I mean, that could easily be you want to do your moody, awesome Wes Anderson ripoff movie, and it's a shitty movie, but you put that song in the scene where they're dancing in the rain, these two young kids that are in love and fucked up, and the movie becomes brilliant
based on that.
It's such an untapped. And maybe weird. He doesn't let his songs get used. I guess I can't really think of seeing many Cure songs in movies.
Nah, that's weird.
They have that magic.
I mean, they definitely have them, and like Just Like Heaven or something will get dropped. And I think there's even some Reese Witherspoon movie named Just Like Heaven, but I think they just play it in the credits or something. But I mean, it's still like not that
can't hardly wait.
Like that kind of thing where it's just the director was like, that's a cool song, let's use this. But
how much does it cost? $100 you could use it.
Robert Smith
sold
but it's weird just that idea. But going back to the mixes, I guess, that we were talking about, and I was trying to remember what it was like the first one that got a reaction from you, because I remember you liking it, but you it didn't really stick or whatever, and like over the years you just I know you like the Cure and they weren't bad or anything, but nothing really we were like yes more or anything, and I tried not to push it from what I remember. But I remembered like one that you had responded to was the song To the Sky, which is like a B-side technically. It was never even, it's like I don't even know what it was on, to be honest. Like I'd have to look it up, but it was just something that's on Join the Dots. Later got released on that, but we had it off of some bootleg of B-sides or rarities and stuff like that. And but you were like, yeah, definitely when we played that. But you're saying In Between Days might have been the first one that you kind of remembered. Was there one that stood out right off the bat then? You think it was In Between Days, or listening back? Or? thinking back. I mean,
I think the ones that reached out to me the most were the singles.
Just
really,
the single, yeah.
Like pictures of you. And
mm-hmm. So like as a whole, more like just like Gavin and Boys Don't Cry and kind of those ones. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's cool. To the Sky is a good song there.
Yeah.
I don't know where I dreamed that up.
Yeah, and that's a weird
one
that I wouldn't have found if the person that made the mix hadn't picked a weird.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was kind of thinking.
It kind of reminds me of Jackson Brown's "Late for the Sky," which is like kind of shitty. It's like taking that song and making a really good song out of it. It's a moody. We just listened to it before we did this, and it's just such a.
It's a weird because it's so like dreamy, but it isn't really particularly like great lyrics and not like a super fast like catchy song like In Between Days or anything. Where it just kind of just dreamy is kind of the word.
It has just that classic Cure arrangement thing where there's just one chord progression, basically the whole song, and there'll be that one section, call it the chorus or the bridge. You're never sure if it's the hook or the part that's not the hook, but it changes to like a weird chord or two. But there's just the most of the song for a long time is just this one chord progression and all these different cool hooks come in and out of it, and he makes the melody go to different places and
the layers, like just like, and then it'll have like that string that's just like
through
the whole thing, and it's crazy how important or how much like decorating a cake kind of thing in it, and that just really, it's funny. And at work I've been listening to like headphones. I put one earbud in and then so I can hear what's going on around me, so it's been funny in the sense that I like listen to these like these like recordings that I've heard a billion times, and I'll hear them in a different way because stuff's panned and stuff, and like so I won't hear like half of the arrangement, but it'll also kind of make you kind of accent something in a song. There's been a lot of Cure ones where I'm just like, what the hell is this? Is this like a live version? I look at it and it's like just something off of Disintegration, and I was like, but it just sounded so weird because like there's prominent like keyboard part will really stand out and,
out of context.
Yeah, it's really weird, but it's crazy how good they are at the layering. It's undeniable, I guess.
It's like Beatles records. You'll put in a Beatles record and one earbud or one of your speakers isn't working, and you'll just hear like a harmony, a tambourine, like and a kick drum. Like, what there's not even the first 30 seconds are just silence, and it's just like boom.
Yeah, they were notorious for that, it seems. I always try to do that, but it makes it really hard to mix and stuff too, because you never really know based on what you're listening to. Anyway. I
feel like the Cure was really ahead of their time with that one chord progression layering thing, and that like electronic music and a lot of the things I listen to now are based on that, just looping things. Like the whole idea of looping, they didn't actually loop it with digital technology, but they did it live, and it was just like they knew that this trance level of just keeping one thing down and bringing things in and out, into the beat and the bass line would just be on one thing for so long, and there'd be moody delayed stuff coming in and out. That's something we've seen in electronic music a lot since then,
and just with people recording is so much more accessible to everybody now. I think they tend to lean towards that format where you can kind of just have that train track down and build it on. It's a good point. I wonder where that comes from. I wonder, do you know from what you know of like Bowie stuff or anything? He doesn't really do that, do you think? I guess he has.
I'd say even more, probably more of the Clash than like if somebody before them, but they were kind of same era. The Clash is a little bit earlier, but they would do that, and then the Cure later on got into that kind of funkier reggae thing. Like the bass and drums would be really tight, and they just be the same thing for 5 minutes. But then,
I wonder if a lot of it too is the way that he writes, like hearing his demos and stuff, where a lot of it is kind of like even like Close to Me or something that has so many cool little parts, but it is all originally based off of like a drum loop kind of thing, and then he's just going to kind of over it, and then when you do it as a band, you kind of make it more alive, of course, but at the same time, I wonder if how much of an influence that has just from the writing.
So his demos were like a lot of drum loops were used.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to think he kind of started from a looping kind of trancey, get into the trance and do it. And
yeah, because I was surprised by that. I didn't really catch that until they started putting out the reissues, and on the bonus disc they'd have like a lot of stuff which kind of took away a lot from like the band stuff. I thought I was surprised if he had the whole kind of beat. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
He already had the whole fucking song.
It's like,
what's he paying these assholes for?
Exactly. No wonder he fires them all. But nah, they definitely add their parts and bring it to life. But at the same time, it was kind of surprising where he, technically was writing all these hooks for all of them. I was just like, wow, okay, cool. But
I think Robert Smith might have something to do with the brilliance behind The Cure.
Yeah.
It's mostly his band.
It's becoming obvious. I think he might have a huge part to do with them.
I think his lead guitarist is the main guy. What's his nuts? But Robert Smith might have something to do.
Yeah, he's gonna be big one day.
He's getting big.
He's back to the fat joke.
Eyes are getting all pink and shit.
So okay, if you were making a mix for a new feller, the next generation, that would be even weirder.
You're editing this, right?
Yeah.
So brushed up on my titles so that it's gonna be bad. The one with the shit that had the.
It'd probably be the ones we've already mentioned, even not like a full 20 tracks, but like just some ones off the top of your head. Is there anything?
In Between Days we talked about. Man.
But you'd probably stick with like the catchier singles. You would think. You think that's the way to go?
It's really that Baby Son album.
Yeah. The Galore. Yeah.
If I'd had.
Yeah.
If I properly prepared for this, I would have listened to that and known.
It's fine. We all know what you mean. It's good. Like I said, if anybody's listening this far into a Cure podcast, they know too. So don't worry.
Just at that point in their career, they're doing just like weird, I don't really like. Even when I say the word funk.
Yeah,
I feel like an asshole.
Right.
I feel shitty when I say it. I don't like saying it, but they'll actually do like some funk stuff that's just like hot, and some of that stuff on there is just it's so good, and he's just like they like hop like 2 octaves up, and the band's so tight and it's catchy, and the stuff is just out of this world.
Yeah,
the stuff is just out of this world. Like I'm like, I should not like this. Friday, I'm in Love reeled me in, and here I am in my car, just like it's
true.
Crazy. It's so good.
Like that one in particular, I think the one guitarist they had kind of through all that Pearl, he was like through like In Between Days, a little before that, and like all the way up to Wild Mood Swings. Like has that really guitar-y style, and he's the one that ended up playing on like Plant and Page and stuff like that too. He definitely and he came back for like their last album, and definitely has like that funky side, which is such a cool like spice flavor to throw into a Cure song that would normally not. I think he probably has a lot to do with that, even though I'm sure Robert's big on it too.
Yeah, but it was like there was a strong guitarist around for those that was. You can't sing and do that at the same time.
Yeah.
You need
and most of those songs in particular are the ones where he like just does, walks around with the mic like hot, and Why Can't I Be You and stuff like that.
All right, I'll just take the mic. Yeah. Track number 1 on the mix would definitely be Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah.
It has to be. Assuming the mix is made for somebody, I'm making this mix like you did for somebody that you don't know the Cure, here it is. And I think you did start off with that song. It's just... It changes a lot. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out, but it's just it's like a British punk. It's like it's a punk rock song, and there's not really much Cure that I know that I would consider to be punk rock. There is some, but it's a punk rock song, and it's so punk rock that it's like a sissy song. Right. It's so punk rock that it's sissy. It's like the ultimate
post punk.
They took it all the way to like. Yeah, just being being a little bitch and crying about it. And it's beautiful. It's like the shit that boys and men can't express.
Yeah, which really opened the doors
for the hook is just
for like new wave music. Yeah, it's I love how they all kind of build on each other too. Like their big singles over the years. It's like if you put them all together like that, like Boys Don't Cry, Just Like Heaven, In Between Days, even Pictures of You, they're all in A too, which is weird.
Yeah.
Not to get too musical nerdy.
Oh no, we should do A real quick. You can edit it out. But Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry,
all their big hits in A.
Buddy Holly, just like you just tune up to the album, you play on your A. You're like, why do I not write songs in A? It's a weird key, but it's like the ultimate old school rock and roll key.
It's like the hit key. It's like, let's do the fucking hit now.
So post punk bands in the 70s,
even
went back to A. I don't know. It's the first letter of the alphabet.
Yeah, where else? It's a good place.
That's where you start.
That's true.
We just figured something. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we're rolling on this because that would be the exact thing. I'd be like, we said something about
A. I only remembered the formula to a hit song. They cracked it, I swear.
Damn.
So if nothing else, kids, start on A.
And by A, we mean Adderall.
Yes.
This podcast is brought to you by
Adderall. It keeps you going.
The only way to feel normal. Robert Smith, cut to the ad.
Totally. Going back to Hot, Hot, Hot in particular, we're thinking how Ryan is an accomplished guitarist and singer and songwriter and all-around great musician, as if you haven't picked up on that
Never
yet.
Made a single fucking penny off any of it.
That just proves that you're amazing.
That's how legit I am. I won't accept money from people. I've always tried to pay me a lot to be a musical artist. I've chosen to be a computer geek instead.
Anybody can make money off of music. Jeez, it's more noble to not get paid for it. So, but anyway,
Integrity.
I wanted to rehash some Cure related, very loosely music stories from over the years of how the Cure's path have come in, of projects we've done or you've done on your own, and there's some pretty funny ones you got over the years. Just I remember before even moving down here, you had mentioned playing Hot, Hot, Hot in an email, and you're like, man, I'm playing this Cure song. It was like a one-off kind of thing. It was like a Halloween show or something, maybe? Or,
it was that the Hairspray. I think it's called New Mountain now, but it was Was it a
burlesque show?
It was a swinging burlesque show at the gay bar in Asheville in 2005, and there was a crazy backstage with giant lipstick and a giant plush lipstick just with a light on it, and we played that song. It was
what was the whole let's see, how do we backtrack? Was it like, so you were part of like a one night band kind of thing, right? And you were playing while people were dancing to it, or
it was like a weird show where we met these people that put on this Halloween show every year, and we were like young kids, college kids, and we played with them, and we played a few songs in the show. There was like dancing. I think there was like a dancing flame with legs just dancing around and doing flips and cartwheels like a dancing hot flame, and we were like doom doom, just playing the song. And then a guy came out and sang "Girlfriend in a Coma" to a wax corpse afterward. He came out, and this lady like brought sheet music out and played it on the piano, and he hopped around like Morrissey and sang to a wax corpse, "Girlfriend in a coma, I know." And afterwards, I was like, that was amazing. I was like, I spent all of high school singing along.
So you played on that too? Like, so how many songs in this set? Or was it
two?
Okay,
two songs.
So it was those two songs?
Yeah.
And did like a different band rotate out and they kept it going? Or was it just like, that was the whole night?
Yeah, there'd be like, it was like a back curtain, and the guy would come out and be like, for our next performance this Halloween, we have
the juggling midget or something.
And we just came out. You have to plug your amp in really fast.
Oh, wow.
And just be kind of like, all right, let's go.
That sounds so weird, but awesome.
Yeah, it was really, you'd never be in control of anything.
So Hot, and Girlfriend in a Coma. That's pretty fucking cool two songs if you had to.
You should have been there.
That would have been amazing.
We've both been on mixtapes from Gavin.
Did who were the people in the band? Like, not that the listener would.
It was me on guitar, Joe Bazzelli on drums, and then Lisa singing, and then her her boyfriend at the time, Scott Gormick, on upright bass. So yeah, upright bass, guitar, drums, and vocals. But we were kind of like jazz style, where upright bass was not mic'd. It was just upright bass, just like brush drums, like one kick and a snare and a ride. And then I had like my little amp. So the shit about gotta plug, it was only me. That's why everybody else was like, let's go. I'm like, I fucking gotta plug in my amp.
Come on, Ryan. You're killing it. The lips are on fire.
She had a mic too. But
that's awesome. Yeah, cool.
it was wacky. It was really fun. It was just kind of at that phase of being really serious about my own songs on acoustic guitar, and trying to go out and play them, and then going and doing some weird shit like that. And in retrospect, that was way more fun than me playing my sad ass ballads at an open mic.
Well,
I didn't realize that till now. Thanks, Robert.
That was a good time. So you got your first taste of full-on funky with that? Did you feel like you nailed the funky guitar?
No, I didn't. I feel like that's when I appreciated the funkiness of. That's why I will rant about the funkiness and how I don't like funk, but that it was. Really? I was like, but I like this song, and it was hard. The right hand, the loose wrist. It was
going on with that.
No, I couldn't. It's like that Johnny Marr kind of thing. You try and it makes you better, but you don't ever feel like you
nailed it.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Next time. We'll get them again. That's cool. I was always curious of that story. Kind of along the same lines too, years later when we were playing together with the band If You Want Us, we played a few out-of-town shows for a while. We got in a run of playing quite a few out-of-town shows, and we played out in Duke University, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So big university show. It was a bit of a hike. Was it like 4 hours from here in Nashville?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was like maybe like a Friday.
Longer than we thought.
Yeah, it was like one of those drives where it's like we got off of work or something a little early, jumped in the car, and we're kind of like lost a bit and didn't quite get there as soon as we wanted to. I felt like it was a little rushed.
And then we had to carry all our shit through the whole student center. There wasn't even a direct load in. We had to walk through like a student shopping mall.
Yeah, well, I guess like to paint the picture too, and I guess I'll kind of lay it out, but definitely correct me if my memory isn't quite there. A lot of this stuff is blurry. But so yeah, like I guess most universities have them. We had them up at George Mason too, but like there's like a student center, like you said, where it basically is like a mall, and they set it up with shops and cafeteria of sorts, but not like a full-on cafeteria. It's usually where they put a Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A or something, and then they have like a little dining area and
Dot's ice cream.
Yeah,
the ice cream of the future.
Some shit, and the bookstore would probably be in there, and they have like conference rooms and shit like that, right? And so somehow we got the gig there, and of course it's like a show at Duke University, and they're paying you a ton, and you're just like, fuck, all right. It's a very easy one to say yes to on the surface. I remember we got there, and it was like third floor or something, and we had to park way the hell out. Like on any campus, parking was a pain in the ass, and we're carrying it around. I remember me in particular, was that phase where we were dragging a Wurlitzer around everywhere.
Yeah, it was like, the wrong era for that shit. That was a short-lived era. That Wurlitzer was only like 2 months. It happened to fall on that. Yeah,
it's like we're gonna go up these stairs with this thing.
Not short enough, indeed.
Yeah, but anyway, and those things are so crazy because they're always like some kind of production staff has booked it, and they're like. It's always like that phase where they think they're way more professional than they are, and usually the band's playing these kind of things.
They're just faking it.
They got like some
they're just faking it.
AAP event staff shirt on, and there's always like one girl that's in charge, and she's getting all the credit points for doing it or whatever. Basically, that's all it is like they get some kind of check marked on their thing for the semester if they get a band in there. And
serve the salsa, let the band play,
and then sign here.
Take the final exam and then sign here. Exactly. And then sign here. And and we take the thousands of dollars from you, and you get the piece of paper.
I'm like, well, what about the show? Did anybody? Fuck you. But so we got there. We pretty much felt like we knew what was up right off the get go. We got in this like super brightly lit.
Oh shit!
Room. Yeah, we're like, oh, this is one of these.
This is not a cool.
Everyone's just trying to read the chapter of the book that they didn't read before their class, and then like actually studying at a creditable university and such.
I actually get credit for singing a shitty rock band. It's part of my humanities course.
Yeah,
I'm only here to witness
terrible
what art is not.
Like,
oh, this is a trap, man. Fuck you guys.
We drove like 4 hours to get here.
Yeah, we can afford to pay you guys all $500
just to prove a point.
Just to prove what real art is not.
Damn.
Dude, asshole.
Touche. But anyway, so it's one of those rooms that's like way too loud for everything, dude. You kind of know when you're sitting out, we're grimacing, watching, and I think we were we third or in between two? There was definitely the band that I'm getting towards topic-wise, and then like there was a third band.
I believe that the way it went down was the Sammys kicked it off.
Oh yeah, the Sammys.
You didn't even remember the Sammys, did you?
Totally forgot.
Well, let me tell you about the Sammys.
Real nice.
Those guys and their blues playing.
Yeah.
Drummers singing.
Yeah.
Antics.
Tough act to follow.
Kicked off the evening.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Pink Guys had the sense. They were like, we were older. We're on this circuit.
They weren't Mr. Pink Guys.
They knew that the headline. It was us, man.
Yes.
It was a time travel aspect to this that I'll get to later.
Okay.
But let's just call him Mr. Pink Guys for now.
Okay.
They slid in because they knew, like,
yeah.
You don't want to play last. This is already...
Yeah.
And we were rookies. We're like, we'll
headline this shit. We're going to own this shit.
The Sammys were actually the pros of the whole show, which was kind of a weird irony.
Awesome.
And they played a Cure cover, and then we played last, and there was lots of salsa.
Yeah.
It was a weird...
So it was the other band.
Show.
Sammy's, the band that we don't know, but we're calling Mr. Pink Eyes, and then us.
Yeah.
But the thing about Mr. Pink Eyes... leading up to this story, it seemed like another crappy band or whatever. They were older, but not like geezers or anything, probably.
They were probably younger than we are now.
Right.
But we were like, these guys are old as shit.
The fact
They're
that
like,
they played
we're
a Cure cover too, probably
we're 34 years old. We're like, that's fucking old as shit. I can't believe you're still even trying to.
But the singer, she was French on stage. Like, she came out and they were all kind of gothed up. She was like kind of doing like the Susie look and shit, and she kind of just appeared out of nowhere, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? And she came out and they delivered it hard, and she was singing in French over like this kind of new wavy stuff. It wasn't great, but like the fact that they were putting on the theatrics and it was kind of cool. It was like, yeah, this is
and
cool.
Speaking in French she maintained it, her dialogue to the audience.
Yeah, totally selling it.
Je pense lumière. We were like, we thought perhaps she was a French student at Duke.
Yeah,
we didn't know.
Why wouldn't she be? And
well, did you know that it was?
No,
I thought she was.
She
actually
sold it, yeah. And then like she sang the Cure song in English, but it had like a thick French accent. She covered. They covered "Man in My Mouth," which is a like very obscure B-side, awesome song. And just cool reminder of like how rocking and that song was like, oh shit, yeah. And I was like won over, of course. I'm like, this is the greatest band ever. And so as soon as they end their set, of course, I went over and was like, yeah, that was great. And you were there too, and we were like, that's a real good set. And she's like, oh, thanks, man. Like it was all like an act, like a fucking shtick, and like she totally just had like normal Carolina voice, and we're like, so you know, oh hell no. Like I don't think she really like hammed it up that much, but at the same time,
it's weird that this French girl can do such a funny North Carolina accent. It's like, funny.
Which one's real? But yeah, it was like amazing how like. As far as like, oh, you're just like a band that did like, but it was still cool. But it was definitely a little misleading, I thought.
I remember that was at a time when I was really into trying to trade shows with people that I liked. I was like, man, you guys should come to Asheville and play a show there, and we could do like a show swap, and new French bar, you guys could come play. And
French bar?
they all just looked at me. They were like, Yeah, we have day jobs that we like.
Driving out
I
there.
don't fucking do that. We've done that shit. That's a fucking terrible idea.
We only play cafeterias at major universities.
Yeah. Clearly, that's the only place art is pure. So, you guys failed the test, by the way.
Yeah, so that was like the start of the letdown, I guess. And we played our set, and it was the usual, like, all right, cool. We packed up our shit and left. I don't really remember it being. Everyone's just like, you're too loud. Just turn it down.
Because we've established that the university is just inviting bands there to just do cruel experiments on to watch them fail.
Yeah.
But that band had been coming back for the experiments so many times and failing. It got to the point where they were like, if we just have the singer do a French accent, we could actually nail this.
They're like, what?
And that was probably the last time they aced the test. You know? The Sammys
graduated.
were like, had a C. We failed it.
Yeah, we failed it hard. But we won in the sense that we knew never to do anything like that again.
It was the true test. It was like
our own test.
Choosing to keep taking this test will fuck us in the ass. Yes. So we're done. Well, that's well played.
There you go. For sure.
Duke University.
Yeah. I shall never go there again.
Another sponsor of the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, nothing against
Duke University.
If you're...
Duke University.
Along those lines, a quick sub-story. Because of that environment, there used to be a thing at the school. I went to George Mason University up in Fairfax, where they had a little student dining center, and like just in the couple years I was even there, at the end they kept trying to make it like this cultural thing where people could come and see live shows, and it was the exact same thing where it just way too echoey, like felt like you're playing on a mall. Yeah, and like way too sobering, and like the fluorescent lights, and they close at like 8 stuff like that. I was just like, didn't have any of the makings. I think the best attempt they had was doing like a acoustic open mic night there on Thursdays or something, but somehow we got a couple shows there, like, and luckily we didn't drag you into any of these shows. This was pretty early on where we did it.
I'm already feeling so blessed that
yeah, this was bad.
Galaxy Hut was apparently.
We brought you in for the big shit. But anyway, we thought this was cool because it was our school and you played for college kids. It should be, a good idea. Like, once again, and like the production staff put it on. But the funny thing with one of the shows we ever played there, and it was just like emptied out as soon as you start playing the drums. Everyone's just like, fuck this, I'm going to my dorm and whatever. And we played this whole set, and it was like whatever, our usual set at that time. But at the end, we were closing it with a cover of pictures of you. We played that, and I was like, yeah, all right, whatever, even if y'all suck, I got to play pictures of you in this nice play. And this really nice girl was like the last person that like hung in there, came up after, just like, that last song was so beautiful, is that on your CD? It was like probably the jerkiest thing I've ever done as a musician. I was like, yes, it is. Sold her a CD for $5, and she was
track 12. Which CD did you sell her?
It was like the Where's My Rocket, like very first like 5-song EP. So it wasn't Astro.
The last song was the Cure-esque song.
Was it not Astro?
Yeah, Astro was not the last song. It was the one.
I don't remember.
It was the ultimate Cure song. It was the one that's kind of like, show me, show me, show me. It's like Snowfall.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah, I guess it was the last one. Yeah, good job. Thanks. Know my stuff better than me.
I believe Astro was track 3. I won't go on the record. It was around there. Yeah. And sure enough, kicked it off. 2 and 4 may have been forgettable tracks.
All around bad idea.
3 out of 5. Not bad for a first EP.
What you know for, but
not bad at all.
And then, my biggest hit, Pictures of You, didn't make it. We didn't get it recorded in time. So. Yeah. But on the lines of covers, I guess, and other shows, something else we needed to talk about Cure related as far as playing music was, I don't even know the date on this, but the official Mr. Pink Eyes that we referenced earlier became our cover band name that we chose.
We decided to ditch the French accent singer because they'd already passed the test at Duke, and we knew we had to stay a few steps ahead. Yeah. So we took that concept, but then went back to an English-speaking Robert Smith.
All Robert Smith covers.
It just seemed like the way to go.
Yeah, like when the guy put Indiana Jones's hat on the young Indiana Jones, and we took over.
They said they had day jobs. We invited them here, and they refused. So there was nothing left to do but just carry the torch.
Exactly. So there's an organization, Big Brothers, sure you've heard of it. For a couple years running in Nashville here, they did a cool benefit show. And
just remembered it, Big Brothers.
Yeah, Big Brothers, Big Wolves or something.
Because I never had a Big Brother, but I'm with you now.
Yeah, it was funny how little it seemed to ever have to do with having like a foster sibling. It was always just like a benefit, I guess, for that. But it was more about every local band in town would like pick a band and you just cover them for like 4 songs.
So good.
At a really great venue at Grey Eagle here.
I would rather do that and play my own songs.
It was always so fun, yeah.
So fucking fun. It was the only time we've played to a sea of people pumping their fists and singing along.
Yeah.
I had no idea that The Cure was so well known. I just don't hear people talk about The Cure.
Yeah.
And when we played those songs, it was like everyone knew them, people just loved them.
Yeah,
I didn't know so many people felt this way. These songs are known.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I still don't know how.
Really
it's a secret pleasure. People are secretive about their Cure love.
It's like, oh my god,
the ultimate Cure.
Yeah.
What a fucking great band name.
The Cure?
I'll say that, yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like all the good, simple band names are taken.
Yeah.
Pavement, The Cure, just one word.
Yeah.
And The Cure is a lot better than Pavement as far as band names. But it's just so good.
It is, and it's like
if they were like a Christian happy band, it would be shitty. But
right.
because of what they are, it's the perfect name. You know?
Yeah. And the fact that they've lasted so long and had to stick with it, it's like, man, that would have been rough for them if they were like a really amazing band and just had like a mediocre name, you know.
Yeah.
It's like but it is a great name.
If you want us,
Like what was the name of their band?
God damn it! I'm not going to say it again.
I don't wanna. What? But
Prince changed his name back to Prince.
Yeah.
Because being overly clever,
it's tough.
Shooting yourself in the foot.
But yeah, they were the Easy Cure first. That was like, and then they trimmed it to the Cure.
Is that a reference to? Do people say Easy Cure?
Nah, I'm not really sure where it came from, other than that it was Easy Cure initially. And, I mean, very short-lived. They were the Cure from the get-go, pretty much. But
I love the name though. It's just really interesting.
Real simple and works. You can do so much with it, like graphic arts wise too. Yeah. They've always had so many great fonts and such over the years. But
I always thought that the First Aid Kit stole their band name from the Cure.
Like a Cure First Aid Kit.
Like you're hurt. you're hurt and you need something.
Yeah. Huh.
I need the Cure.
Yeah.
I need a First Aid Kit.
Kind of makes sense.
Just throwing it out there, just planting the seed.
They're like, oh shit, he's onto us. Or whatever their accents would be.
We live in Sweden, we talk like this. I don't know why, but he must be killed because he knows.
He knows too much. But yes, Mr. Pink Eyes is a good name of a tribute band too.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun show.
It was cool. It was cool because
it was a great band. It was a great lineup.
It was like a dream kind of thing. It wasn't our band that Ryan and I had been playing in. It was me, Ryan, and then Ryan had been playing in other bands around town and knew these guys who were some of Asheville's finest for sure. Josh playing in Floating Action still?
No doubt. Josh Carpenter on drums, Jeremy Boger on bass,
Patrick.
I almost said Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher.
I'm so glad that I know he'll never be hearing this. But if you are,
he's like,
I'm sorry, but I know that'll never happen. But Patrick Kutcher on keys. Yeah. I think I played keys on one song and guitar. It was so fun to work out all those lead parts.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. What did we play? We played In Between Days.
In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, Love Song, and Close to Me. So, like, definitely the initial...
Just 4?
Yeah. We had, like...
The 5th one in the works.
5, yeah. And then,
it didn't quite...
And even they were kind of saying we should do 3, I think.
Because they were so long.
Yeah, and we were like...
It's like...
And even those are short Cure songs, but like
Close to Me, man.
Yeah, that one.
Is it Closer to Me or Close to Me?
Close to Me.
Yeah.
That was fun because like you've played like probably most of those in some varying form or another, like just like Gavin and. But like Close to Me is like something. The only time you're gonna get a chance to cover that is if you have like a full band, and the fact that like
we had the 2 keyboard parts. It was like they're like dun 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 da, 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 like the answering keyboards. It was
so cool.
It was so fun to,
and that beat, like Josh fucking nailed it. It was just like robot and precision. It was so cool. And
he had giant white sneakers on.
Yeah, I tried
Robert
to
Smith hair and some
play
lipstick
the part.
and makeup
Put on makeup and found some big Reeboks. And
was that? Where's the footage of that? Why is it not on YouTube?
I think it should be somewhere. I remember
there are clips.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
I'll post them on the website.
Clearly,
here
that
too,
should be public. Like I'm Gavin Conner.
I remember
I'm Gavin Conner on the internet. Here are some things I've done. That should be the first thing.
Mr. Pink Eyes.
If I Google you.
They're cool. I remember at least something's weird with them where the camera was like right up on the PA, so it gets a little blown out. But I mean, it's, just kind of crappy camera phone video. But at the same time, it was close enough where you get the point, I think. So I'll post them on this website for sure too. But theholyhour.moonfruit.com. But also, they were
brought to you by.
And it was just so much fun to play like Close to Me in particular. I remember being like upset because I got like a sore throat right beforehand. I was like, this is my dream.
Of course you were, because you were psyched out because the greatest moment of your entire life, all of the things you dreamed of as a Cure-loving teenager were coming to fruition. You had this incredible band of Asheville musicians.
And I was like, I was like, no.
It still happened. It was great.
I feel like I pulled it off.
But that always happens. Like anytime people have that big thing, they're always like, "Why would my immune system be a little weak now?" It's like, because your fucking body's about to do the most amazing shit ever.
Yeah,
just college degrees.
But it would have been fun to nail it. They're tough songs to sing, even with a fresh voice. He's got a really high.
He does, and I think we did the original keys.
Yeah,
it's like singing Beatles songs and stuff where you just feel like, maybe I'll take it down a few.
Yeah, it always loses something. It's never quite
the same. The energy,
like,
because the fact that a dude is like having to belt it that much it gives it energy.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're sitting in there. Pants at home singing it, you're like, I don't know if I want to give it. Just have my coffee. Take
Close to Me.
I want to do like a Lou Reed About to Die version where I just kind of speak to the vicious. Hit me with the
That's the way to do
flower.
It. Even when I cover, like I always try to do it, a lot of it does, you just bump it down an octave kind of thing, but it always does lose the power, especially if it's one of the catchier ones. It's tough. But
Johnny Cash covers in the later days.
Like
a bridge over Joe.
But I've actually had times, like back in the old days when I'd come visit you in Asheville and stuff, where I'm just belting out Cure songs or albums all the way for like 4 hours, and I'd pull up and my head would actually be I would give myself a headache just because it would hurt so bad of like singing that high and like I'm just like, it's like, good God, I just have to like pull the car over and like take aspirin. It's like I already have a headache. But
you'd like sweat a bunch and shit. Jeez, I really feel like I'm a new man now.
You really go through a lot to be Robert Smith. He seems so comfortable all the time. There's no way he's going through that much pain.
The Robert Smith cleanse. Take a 9-hour drive and sing along to Robert Smith the whole time.
It'll make him a new man.
It'll cleanse you out.
But you can see how people get hooked with doing that. Like, and we did other ones where we did The Clash with our actual band. That was really fun.
That was a good one. I'd like to just keep being it's off topic.
Yeah, no.
I like to be in a Clash cover band, but go on.
Well, it's cool. I mean, just that idea of you can see how it really is tempting, like, especially if it's a band you really love, or people that do official cover bands and do like whole sets, and like bill it and tour it or whatever. I mean, there's tons of that going on. There's Cure ones, this band called like The Curse, and there's some well-known ones.
Have you ever been to see one?
I haven't seen
you
any.
Should go, man.
I haven't seen the Cure ones. I've seen the.
You'd be the ultimate judge of whether it's good. You'd be like in the back row with like your arms crossed.
This is not the Cure.
Well, it'd be like shit.
I've watched footage of him.
Who is he? I can see it in his eyes.
He's not.
He's trouble.
He's not the real deal.
Oh, no.
But
I think he knows too much. I think he's seen The Cure many times live and grown up with The Cure. Let's throw him out.
Yeah, please have this man removed. Nah, I mean it's easy to hate him, but at the same time, it's really so many like levels of fascination. On one, you see like the band just having a great time doing it. It's gotta be
it's
fun.
The biggest compliment.
Yeah, it's like
the people. You don't even have to be there. And the show happens for you.
Right.
And everybody loves it. Like the people playing love it.
Yeah.
The people in the audience love it. You don't even have to
like
be
Mark
there.
from the Cheeksters here in town. He does the Bowie thing now. He's doing a lot. You can tell he's just like so into that now more. I'm sure it gets a huge reaction.
My whole and this is what I
makes sense. But yeah, I never saw a Cure one. I saw when we were in LA and we were desperate to see. We were just doing I think the road trip when we were out in LA, and we stumbled across a Morrissey one, and it was awesome. Like I initially was like, this is gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be weird. Some dude's acting like Morrissey that isn't Morrissey, but it had like the whole Latino crowd, and they were like, and we just sat up in the balcony, kind of observing, and I was shocked how much I loved it. Like you get a few beers in, and it's just like the band, if they're good, they're like nailing it, like all the different parts and stuff. I think they had like 3 guitarists doing the one Johnny Marr part, but it sounded great, and it was cool with them because I felt like the singer, he actually looked more like Elvis Costello. He wasn't trying really. I feel like there's that line where a cover band, do they cross it? Do they do the theatrics too? You know, because especially like The Cure, that's like really weird if you come out with like big hair and the makeup, but you kind of have to, but at the same time it makes it that much weirder if you're like trying to look like them.
It's your take on it.
Yeah.
And you have to, if you're gonna get up and do like covers are cool that way, you have to do your take on it, and what one person's take on it that works, it's not gonna be the same. Yeah. For another person.
But and then like selling it as like we are a Cure cover band. Like I mean, with us just doing it, it was obviously those 4 songs we're gonna just nail them very Cure-esque, and it'll be fun. But like if that was your band, it seems like in that case they all do stick to it. Really, there's no like dramatic interpretation. You know, like
it's not like they're reworking the songs.
Right.
They're just trying to do in the way that.
Yeah.
You could even say like just the fact that when they play, it's a small room and everybody's into it, and if the band really wants to do it and the audience really wants to listen to it, that it's more pure in a way than like when the actual Cure or Morrissey performs on this huge stage and there's thousands of people spread out. The songs are, when they play it, it's not intimate anymore. It's even when they play it for what it is, there's something you might get out of that weird cover band. If it was the perfect awesome, I bet most cover bands are shitty, but when you do see that awesome cover band, and I'd actually like to be in an awesome cover band.
I mean something like that Cure one would be great to do now.
And you're just in a small room and they're just nailing the songs, and you're like, finally these songs are intimate again. Because I think there is
that huge factor of, like you're saying, a lot of people can't afford to see The Cure or able to see them or something, you know, like they only tour so many times and like can't afford the tickets. But even like that Morrissey thing, everybody there just loved the song so much that everyone was singing along, and like you know, like, and the band was playing. It's just kind of like a tribute to the songs, like as cheesy as it sounds, because that's what it is. But at the same time, it's like everyone loves those songs so much. The actual band doesn't even have to be there to play them. You know, I mean, that's like
that's beautiful. If you could write a song that bring a room together and you're not even there. You don't even have to be there, and people are just
other people are playing it.
Swinging into it.
It's pretty amazing.
It is like tribute to a song. It's a perfect way to say it. That's what a good cover band does. It gives a tributes to the song.
Yeah, and it is weird because you don't really ever see like the ones that declare themselves a cover band, like an official tribute or cover band, that do interpretations of like like Ryan Adams, Taylor Swift style. Nobody ever like changes the songs because they're like, yeah, we're here to hear just like heaven. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do a piano.
Yeah.
So everyone just be like, this sucks.
you call the band you.
Right.
What you're called, and then you can redo covers. Oh, Cat Power has covers album. Yeah. But you don't say like I'm
I am
cover band of this
Sinatra.
name. Yeah. And all because you're milking that audience.
Yeah.
So like I'm a Pixies cover band, so all the Pixies fans come out and make it about you, and it's like.
That's weird.
Fuck you.
That would not go over well. I don't think so.
You got
to deliver. Do you have a dream cover band? If you were to play in one, who would be your like number one?
Like, I could live the rest of my life doing a million, but
who would be like your top ones? Like if
top one would be the Clash for sure.
Just like a full on whole set of Clash songs. Like,
a full on just the hypnotizing rhythm and Joe Strummer and Mick Jones singing, like they're both just such amazing. Like fuck Lennon and McCartney. those guys they were the two guys that were just learning their songs and just how good they are, and like they're just oh man.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I could feel really good just trying to do their music for a long time.
Yeah. We should do it. Why not? It's like come see the Clash-ish. Clash-ish. That's a good cover band name.
Clash-ish.
But
it's much better than Culture Clash.
Yeah.
Which is terrible.
What about any other backup ones? Like if somebody asked you to join a tribute band, who would you? You'd be like, yeah, all right.
It'd be great to do a Pixies cover band or a Placements cover band.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's so many good cover bands.
So you're just up for all of them. Like I'll do it.
I'd love to be in a Rolling Stones cover band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun for sure. I wish they would do that. I don't know if they do it in any variation anymore, even just the mini thing.
Yeah, it was a great thing to get to do. I haven't heard of it, but then again. I don't know what the fuck goes on.
Who knows? Ever since we had kids, now we're just in a dark room talking into microphones.
I think there might be a show happening now, but who knows? There might be a curfew in Asheville now.
Yeah, it's true.
Not really.
Going back to favorites, I guess, as far as a guitarist, and I guess we can do the songwriting aspect too of The Cure. Do you have a favorite guitar lick or a song that you think is like a memorable guitar part that you like in particular of any Cure song?
Like show me. It's like that note.
Just like that.
It's just straight down the scale. He does it a couple times and then it goes up. The scale.
It's crazy. It's like, how could that?
And then the fourth is like the first two times down, then up, and then the fourth time.
It's just so many cool layers like that. It's a good one.
It'd be that one.
Yeah. I'd always love to nail it.
Keep knocking the mic stand, sorry.
That's all right. We'll fix it in the mix. We'll put Jar Jar over it. We could. I always love that the main riff of Mint Car too. That would be one I'd always want, just have to. I don't think it's too hard, probably, but it's always. I've seen him flub it a few times.
It's plucky. It's
like enough for me.
That was the one where they had he had the bet because he couldn't nail a solo, right?
Yeah, the middle solo part gets like really crazy variation.
He challenged the band to have to owe them more money.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It was like on one of the like the late night shows or something, or maybe on Saturday Night Live or something, and he flubbed it, and he's like, oh, they just like keep having to pay up. But that's pretty cool.
Let's see, any other random thoughts on The Cure? Just that I feel like the arrangements are fantastic. Thank you. Like you have fantastic songs as we've discussed, but just the arrangements, just the layering. Thinking about when you put a recording down on tape or in any format, there's just the kick drums down here, and you've got all these different. There's only so many spaces to fill, and it can get muddled and muddy and unclear really quick when you add a lot of shit.
Yeah.
The Cure can just layer a song perfectly, where every little hook, there's multiple hooks going, but they occupy their own little space.
Yeah.
And they dance together, and it's kind of Baroque in a way.
Yeah.
Just the layering, and they're all just kind of like, no, it's just straight down the scale.
Yeah, individually, they're not like particularly crazy, complicated parts. If anything, overly simple. It's funny, but when you listen to it as a whole, it's just like, oh, I could never play that, But then
it's an
like,
orchestra.
Yeah.
And they use string sounds a lot. It's a lot of synth string sounds.
Yeah. It's a weird, awesome way to do it. Like Disintegration in particular, I feel like that's like the epitome of awesome layering for an album. Like how amazing, there's no wasted note on that whole album, It's like every little intertwined little strings, even if it's doing like the most nothing part, like nothing is in the wrong place or too much, Like there's been ones before and since that they kind of overdo it or whatever. But
no wasted note. I really like that. I think that's really well put. That's when things are great, is when there's just what's needed.
Yeah.
It's easy to just go overboard. It's just
that's a tough thing to do for sure, especially when you get to that point where it's like such a crazy amount, where it's not like just like a 5-piece band doing it, it's just like.
So did he have like who? It's a lot of times there's producers and people that arrange a band. I
think production wise.
Was there people he worked with like again and again that were kind of the George Martin of some of the Cure albums?
Not really. I mean, there's a couple like the producer people that never seem to get much credit. Like they always technically produce their own stuff. Like when it says produced by the Cure, and David Allen was kind of Dave Allen, I believe. I've been meaning to go back to this biography that was really good of theirs and kind of brush up on some of that stuff. But I remember I'm not really saying much about him because I was just like, who, there's such great production and somebody must have been really coaching it or something. But
they didn't have any that, I feel like a lot of people like, I go back on, that was their great album, and it's a Rick Rubin album, or there's some guy.
Nobody really that they play it. I've kind of narrated that Dave Allen dude was there for like what I would consider like their peak awesome, like from like Head on the Door through Disintegration, I think it was, or through Wish even, like where it was like those 5 awesome, like big breakthrough.
David Allen.
Dave, a real memorable standout name. That he's probably like works at like TJ Yakadoos or something.
You know what's even less of a standout name?
Robert Smith.
Exactly. But we know it because
I know
he's a fucking beautiful man. But
I would have named my child after him if he just had any part of a more like notable name. I was like, I can't name my kid Robert because like everybody's named Robert, and can't name my kid Smith.
Middle name like Robert Smith Connor.
Yeah, I think I lobbied for Smith even as a first name just because I thought that would be weird.
I never thought about that as the link between the Cure and the.
Actually, Owen and I kind of touched on that for a second. We're like the Smiths, but
so you only saw it recently at the podcast, or
I did.
Okay, you connected on it for the first time. So we've both known for our entire lives.
Now we know.
Now we know together.
For sure.
Which makes it creepier. All right, let's never speak of this again.
This shan't be spoken of, except on the internet. Forever immortalized.
Let's forget it ever happened and allow anyone that ever wants to listen to it, which is usually no one.
1 to 3 people that think it's something else. So as we wrap up this episode of the Holy Hour, I definitely want to thank you, Ryan, for
it was my pleasure
rehashing the memories
so fun
and talking about the Cure and maybe we'll go form a cover band, and you should too out there, kids. Pick your band and go out there and play their songs because they'll probably be better than your songs.
And suck at it. And enjoy.
Is that your leaving words of wisdom to any young aspiring musicians? Go play some other people's songs.
You should immediately explore a different profession. No. Learning to play music is the greatest thing you can do, but you'll never get any money from it. It'll be something that teaches you how to do everything else. It's the greatest thing you can learn how to do is hold a song in your head and play it. It's great. but don't expect it to be the thing that directly gives you wealth. You might get lucky, and it is, but it's worth doing. I mean, music is it's like the first thing I really got passionate about. I feel like everything, like friendship, marriage, parenthood, computer shit, like I related all to music. That was the first thing that I really I was like, I want to figure this out and do it and be great at it.
And where did it come from in your family? I don't think, did you have like a long one just out of nowhere?
Yeah, like my mom and my older sister played shit like in the minute. We listened to like Marvin Gaye and Thriller a lot, and the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, and Madonna and Cyndi Lauper.
Man, that's some sexual stuff.
I know. It was just those were just over and over again. So, I didn't even hear the Beatles and the Stones until like college, or it was way late that I caught up on music history. It was just weird 80s pop shit, and then REM and the Lemonheads, and then just 90s Dinosaur Jr., all that kind of shit. And then I think in college, 97, 98, through you and just getting more interested, I got to know I went back, the Smiths, and then back to 70s and 60s. And
it's weird how that music latched on. What year did you studied choir, maybe would be your first exposure, or what was your first like lessons, or just...
Yeah, they in the 5th grade, they said you could play a horn or do something like that, and I did saxophone for a year in the 5th grade, and I don't think I ever could carry a tune on that, but I was exposed to it, and then I didn't want to do that, and I switched to percussion. My parents were awesome. They were like, okay, you can do percussion in the 6th grade, and Brett and I, we actually played in the 6th grade. We play like snare drums, and you'd be like the one guy, and just 2, 3, 4.
So there it was, and you're like talking to each other.
You kick drum and toms and all that stuff and percussion. And then for some reason I dropped out of that. I joined a church choir in 7th grade.
Like the reasonable thing to do.
I know. None of it was my decision. Actually, it was good that I was. I guess somebody thought that I should do some of that. But then around 13 or 14, like around the church choir time, oddly, like it was like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and I got a guitar and started.
Where did the guitar come from? I mean, did you just get the bug and say, I want to buy a guitar, or get it?
Where did it come from? I remember, like, my dad had a guitar, and he actually played a little bit when I was really young. I think he's pretty much tone deaf and never really went for it. But he just, like, showed a little interest in it, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most awesome thing. And he kind of put it away, and I remember finding that guitar in the attic and taking it down and trying to play the songs. Like,
what grade was this?
It's like elementary school. Trying to play those songs and just strumming open strings, and my parents were like, do you want guitar lessons? And I was kind of like, no, that's weird. But I think eventually, like when I was 13, like I saw other people around me playing the guitar, and like grunge music and that, and I saw it, and I'd go hang out with like a skateboard with kids and go to their house, and somebody would kind of be like, nah, play a little riff, and I'd be like, show me that. And I'd be like, I could hold my fingers down and do it, and when I could do that, I'd learn one little like, na dun dun, and I'd just do it over and over again. I thought it was the most magical.
It's
like,
crazy how encouraging it is once you
back.
Get something that you can play, and it's like, all right, it just kind of feeds in itself like a snowball rolling downhill. That's pretty neat. I just piano lessons, and then it's funny how like the 90s hit, and you're just like, man, guitar's so much cooler. But
the keyboards came back though, so it's good.
It's weird that they always hit up like kids as far as school music learning. It's always like band like horns and shit. Like, it seems like there would be more like just practice. I mean, obviously they're gonna learn piano or guitar or something more. And it's like, and even if you don't, like even from the piano lessons I took, it was like more that I learned like the structure of songs, and just like chords and like primary chords and stuff. And for me, maybe that's just what I took out of it more, but I felt like it definitely took like just the writing and learning that, something that I can take into guitar a lot more than actual, which I should have learned more of, like scales and stuff better with both hands and stuff. But it was more, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I wish schools would do that more instead of like handing you a horn. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do with this horn? Like, I mean, I guess it's because
I would love to be able to play a horn though. Like,
Yeah,
I would if I could pick up a trumpet. I think that's, oh man, and the grass is greener.
Yeah.
Like another fucking white asshole with a guitar is drumming it. If I could pick up a trumpet,
Like a white guy with a trumpet, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's better though. I think it's
maybe
less
white people
cliche.
shouldn't be allowed to touch any
maybe
music.
white people are just cliche.
Just go sing in the choir.
You've had your chance.
The Christian choir.
You've had all the money and all the education. And yes, white people have made some good
I want a
music,
horn.
but nobody wants to hear more white people. Like, yeah,
Playing trumpets.
I can kind of see that point, actually.
Just like
Can we still make films?
Yeah. Well, on that note, maybe we should wrap up. The kids, go play your trumpets. Go learn. Thanks for listening. Talk hard. Over and out. Say bye, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan.
Later.
Bye, Ryan.
This concludes another episode of The Holy Hour. Thanks so much for listening, and thank you again to my special guest, Ryan Barrington Cox. Great friend that I always love talking to, whether it's Cure related or not, and really appreciate him talking with me. And feel free to check out his stuff. He's got tons of great things out there on the web at ryanbarringtoncox.com. That takes you to his blog where you can read his words of wisdom and advice and learn lots of good things as well as be entertained. Also links to his YouTube website where you can see lots of cool videos of him playing covers or original songs. We talked a lot about covers too, but he is quite the songwriter. You can hear his original music at ryanbarringtoncox.bandcamp.com. And I'll put a link to all of these at theholyhour.moonfruit.com, our official website. As for the episodes of The Holy Hour, be sure to subscribe at iTunes or at Podomatic.com. You can stream or download them for free from those sites as well, just by searching us. Just search The Holy Hour, and you might want to throw Cure in there too, just so you don't get a bunch of religious podcasts, although I feel that this podcast is very spiritual. So that should get you through till the next episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon. Go listen to some Cure now, okay? Do it. Thanks.